Okay, we're live from my bedroom on the road. Well, we're not really on the road, we're online. And today we're chatting with Kenny Robinson, comedian, actor, writer, producer of a show that's 20 years making the Nubian disciples of Richard Pryor. This Sunday, 20-year anniversary. Get your tickets, yuckyucks.com. I'd like to thank my own sponsors before we talk to them, because my kids are in the room. So first I'd like to thank...
Tires.com.
Yes, and...
Truly
.ca.
Yes, so reach out to our supporters and support them. But first, before we talk to Kenny Robinson about the trials and tribulations, first...
Ding song!
Yes, I signed my soul on the dotted line.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're live from my bedroom on the road. And I can't believe the fun we're having here talking about Kenny Robinson being on the road and talking about the Nubian Night being treated as an open mic, which I've never heard of such a thing ever in the history of my life. It's the best show in all of Canada. And
Yeah.
hold on, why Toronto? You're from Winnipeg. Why wouldn't you have gone home and gone
Well-
and done this for Winnipeg?
Well, first of all, the demographics and the cost would change. Years ago, I dreamt of getting a bunch of native comics together and sell them guns and whiskey and starting a comedic rebellion out there. But that wasn't my calling. Toronto had been my home since 1980 or 81. And this is where the majority of the comics of color were living and where they were being shut out. So this is the belly of the beast. I've always had dreams or desires of taking the tour cross country, but that takes a sponsor that I haven't been able to come up with yet. So it's not because of lack of desire or want or dreams. They're just dreams deferred at this moment.
Well, I like your dreams. So after this conversation, maybe we should have other conversations. As I said, so so you're now here for 1983 Toronto. It's your place to be. You're living here now. Are you in Toronto, or are you living in the GTA?
Well, I'm in Mississauga, but I call it Toronto. You
Okay.
still gotta go to the same airport.
Oh, well, I would say the Toronto Airport is in Mississauga, and my kids are in the room. And you say you do have kids.
Yeah, I've got one that's 23, so I guess she's no longer a kid. And I've got a daughter who's 15, uh, a guitar player and a soccer player. And then I got a son that he plays bass and he's a goalie. So, they're older than your guys, but,
Right.
they once upon a time they were the same age.
Right. So, do you have any coping skills that you had? As this is the on the road, and the reason this exists, of course, is my kids. I'm not on the road. I'm keeping myself off the road. But I know you went to the road, and it must have been when your children were young. So, did you have any coping skills about being a papa at the same time?
Oh well, I mean, the kids were born with me, being on the road. So it wasn't like Daddy has to go away now. It's like Daddy's going away. You guys want me to bring, I'm going to bring you something back from this town. So the only time when the children ever cried is when I brought them back Vancouver Canuck sweatshirts, because I've raised my children properly to hate the Canucks.
The Canucks, by the way, kids, are another hockey. I think it's hockey. It might be hockey. The
Yeah,
Canucks are
it's
hockey.
Man, I'm going to have an intervention on your kids. You're not teaching them anything, man.
No, nothing about
So
sports specifically. Did you guys know did you know the Canucks were a hockey team? Did anybody here? My oldest 10-year-old, he's nodding, but the other two don't care.
he's probably playing hockey on the side when you least suspect it. Uh,
It's like heroin, the hockey. I'm
Don't
sorry?
tell Dad. Don't tell Dad we got a stick and a puck. In fact, they gotta leave. They gotta leave their hockey sticks at other kids' houses. Whose stick is this in the driveway? Oh, I'm just holding it for a friend of mine.
Okay, I'm not saying they can't play hockey. I'm just saying it's not something that we watch together. I believe we all have hockey sticks. We play hockey. We play road hockey, but we don't watch other people. We don't watch other people do anything. We basically do it. I'm a big fan of doing stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but no, and I mean, there's been times I've taken my kids on the road. They've lived out of a suitcase, and
Fun.
you know that they've got to eat something before 6:30 when I got to leave for the gig. So they know what it's like to shop in various towns and what restaurants they like and what have you. So I haven't taken them on the road as much as I should have, or as much as I would have liked to have. But it is what it is.
You would have taken them on the road if you could. Like you would have packed them into a trailer or getting an RV, and that could have been your experience.
Well, we climb in the minivan and say I was playing Windsor. So, in fact, my daughter was only two. First time she stole something from a store in Detroit. I love it. Wait, what was a rattle? But she had it. We didn't realize it was in her hand when we went out of the store with it. But I'm glad though that if she had to shoplift anywhere as a baby. She picked Detroit, so her first crime was committed there. So so they enjoyed going to Windsor, and as they got bigger, Windsor's a great town. Niagara Falls, they've spent a bit of time there and what have you. So, but never had a chance to take them out west because that's a longer, tougher piece of road. Eating for a grown up with bad habits to have, it's a tough piece of highway.
Right. So, Windsor, Detroit, we're hanging out on the other. Is because you're from Winnipeg? Is that why we're having these? Because it's close to the other side, right? You're just crossing
Well,
over.
Winnipeg, I guess it's close to the North Dakota border, but I mean, I was never one. Before I was born, it was a big thing for my parents to go to Minneapolis, and my aunt used to make a big deal out of going to Fargo. But I love shopping in Detroit. I get stuff in Detroit, shoes and clothes I can't get anywhere in
Right.
Canada.
Oh, that explains
So,
your style like nobody's business. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, Detroit is. Kids, I want to teach you a word. He did promise words to be taught, and the first word I want to choose is baller. I don't think you've ever heard this word. Have you ever heard the word baller before? This gentleman is a baller. He shows up, and it's like a grand ball. He's going to show up. He could be in a. Well, actually, I don't even know the definition, but he is. It's bigger than life. You show up to the room. It's very interesting when you have a full room of ballers. That would
Well,
be
that's the beautiful thing about Detroit. You go to a comedy club there in the black neighborhoods, and you've got his and her leather outfits being worn by couples, and other ones are wearing matching suits. I mean, Detroit people still get dressed to the nines to go out.
to the
There,
nines, meaning to the height of what you can reach. The nines.
absolutely. There's no tens because you could have always gotten something else you couldn't afford. But the dress, dress sharp to the teeth. So,
Sweet.
and part of being for me, part of the joy or thrill of being an entertainer is stepping on that stage and looking like an entertainer.
And like I said at the beginning, he brings it. He has the sense of being on the stage. He is the essence of comedy clubs. And then you find out that he's also doing television and movies, and he is now the celebrity of Canada. I mean, that's where you get to be celebrity. People know who you are, and you're doing it in the fame of in the fames category. I wish Canada also had the fortune category. Not a lot of you have to leave Canada to get the fortune side. I find that seems to be part of the deal.
Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, that's the fortune. Yeah.
Oh, the fortune is that we get to live in Canada.
Well, I guess it's half a dozen of one, six of the other.
Right. Okay. Okay. I guess. I mean, I don't know. You're doing it longer than me, and you could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, but you know what? At a certain age, I listened to people when they told me I was too dirty for LA, so I didn't go to LA, and then I
By
moved to
dirty, he
San.
means the words that he used and the topics that he was talking about, even for adults. For the adults that were coming into the club, the people were running the club were this is. I want to use the word offensive, but I can't. You can pick another better word. Pick a word. Too.
Offensive works.
You know what? I don't like offensive because he didn't change it. Progressive. It's too progressive. You came out to a live show to hear some stuff, and now you don't want to hear the truth. That's
I
what you brought.
found
You
out
brought the truth.
I found out recently that the hang-ups are other people and it's not me. But it only took 35 years of being in the business to figure that out. So here's a perfect example. I was in South Africa, and this guy comes up to me after the show, and he said to me, you offended me, you offended my wife, you offended marriage." And I started laughing. I said, "What do you mean I offended marriage? I offended the concept of marriage. What type of marriage did I offend? A certain type of a marriage? Did I offend marriage for the sake of the kids? Marriage to get a green card? Marriage, an open marriage? What do you mean I offended marriage?"
Right. Well, no.
And
So someone takes it personally, and
right.
that is a
So,
problem with comedy. You can't be
no,
looking at
no.
a show and go, "That movie offended me." It was a movie. It was trying
Well,
to.
I did a joke that mentioned homosexuals at the top of the show. Not a gay bashing line, but it mentioned it. And so I said to his wife, "Well, if I offended you, I apologize." So that was enough to make this drunk happy.
You know.
So he had these two or three big ass brothers with him, and they were trying to be nice and buy me drinks. And then they said to me after we left, "Oh, our brother hated you." And I said, "Yeah, well, I didn't know if I was going to have to give him a shot in the head or what." And he goes, "He used to be a notorious homosexual, but then he got married. So when you brought that up, his wife looked at him and he looked at her. And then, I said, oh, so because of his past,
Right.
he's upset that I brought." So
Get out.
they
Yeah.
went exactly. And then I started laughing because they said he was a notorious homosexual. So I was thinking of like Notorious B.I.G., you know? Like
So you can
notorious.
rap about it maybe afterwards. I'm
Oh,
not too sure.
absolutely. But your sons are in the room,
They
so I
are.
didn't want
No, and we're doing really well. I'm not too sure which one I should explain first, but there are two things that
neither.
clear.
Neither. A mask on the street. That's where they're gonna find out. I think.
And that's well, you're not coming from a different time, but you are a generation ahead of me. That's speaking for a generation ahead of me, and so you keep bringing it. You are the celebrity. I'm going to say it again because you said that you think in Canada there should be celebrity.
Well, we should definitely have a star system. Maybe we do, but maybe our star system is so small that we don't even recognize it. Who knows?
Okay, well, not recognizing our star system, that's a problem. So we're,
Yeah.
we're, we're a little too PC about our politically correctness as well as dealing with everything that has to do with the, our entertainment industry. There's always something missing. There's always something off from our business. But we weren't the bringers. I mean, did you ever end up in L.A.? Is that ever part of your day? Did you end up ever in L.A.?
Only for a week at a time where I just basically got drunk and went and saw Frank Sinatra and Don Rickles with Tim Conlon. But no, I mean, in order to be in LA to make anything happen, you got to be there for 6 months to a year.
Right.
And by the time I was ready to go to LA or try to, I was already married with a diabetic wife and a new baby girl. And then the marriage broke up. The first marriage broke up. And she decided to come back and live in London. And I decided, well, you know what? What's the point of living if I'm not going to be near my kid? And so I knew that when I came back to Canada, came back to Toronto, I could still see my daughter and I could still earn the child support to be close to her and try to raise her and give her the best I can. So those are the sacrifices that a man makes, and for I make no apologies for the way it turned out.
No, I don't think I'm asking. I'm trying to remember the first time I met you because you are, as I said, you're the man who gives respect. You have respect, and getting what you give is clearly what the business is about. So hopefully it comes back, not to haunt you, but there's clearly you're going to speak your mind. There's no stopping it. I mean, I know I've seen you I've seen you on like television that it surprised me that you were there. I want to call it the religious channel, but that can't be right. But the Christian channel?
Religion TV. When I did what 26 episodes of things from the Canada Film Board, National Film Board of Canada.
You were the MC, you were the host, talking straight at me, standing on a mountaintop with a beautiful blue sky behind you.
Yeah, yeah, or different environments.
Okay.
Sometimes at Kensington Market, other times in a
Right,
park, or at a lacrosse game, or whatever. Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I was surprised because I was waiting, not for you to. You never have offended me. All you've ever been is the truth teller and opening my eyes. But I'm not conservative in my views. I'm not conservative in my life.
Yeah, but that
Um,
was a simple, straightforward gig. I wasn't giving my opinion. I was just basically introducing what the films were about. So I mean, I can't step in a pile of doggy poo doing that.
right. Well,
You know,
you probably could, but
Well, I didn't, and that's the important thing, So I mean, it wasn't going to be any. I mean, the stand-up act is completely different from the ability to just as they call them in England, to be a presenter.
Oh, what? Who's the presenter?
That's what they call a host. In England, they refer to them as presenters.
Does it matter if it's on stage or if it's on television?
If it's on stage, I think they have. I think they call the MC the compere.
Wow, they use French in England. That's interesting. That's
Yeah,
had its
they're,
own
they're
problem.
so much more sophisticated there. They really are.
Well, they have 2,000 years of inbreeding that we don't have.
Yes, and they have. I guess they have a better school system. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, there's something going on with the school system. I'm always feeling like I'm failed. I don't know
So, are you home teaching your kids?
No, I'm not that religious about education. I'm a big fan of, as I said, doing. So whatever it is they're going to be doing. So what I did do is I put them into French immersion.
Okay.
So at least we as a family could be educating ourselves. So we have French Saturdays and where we speak French, and whatever. Just trying to keep it interesting. Being bilingual and being in Canada, trying to celebrate being Canadian.
That's what it's about. I mean, I don't understand the resistance a lot of people have to being bilingual. I mean, it gives you two opportunities for jobs. It gives you twice the chance to meet somebody you may fall in love with and be charmed by. It gives you two different languages you can curse somebody in. But for a lot of people, they act like having two languages forced upon them is something cruel and inhumane.
Well, yeah, well, it's a sense of freedom. It's if it is forced upon you, well, then I would think it must feel that way. I'm
Well, sometimes you gotta have things forced upon you for your own good. I mean, you give a kid a choice between a candy bar or spinach and Brussels sprouts, he's gonna go for the spinach. No, he's gonna go for the candy bar. Sometimes you gotta force the better food upon them. I don't
okay.
mean force feed them like the kids in Gitmo or anything,
Right.
but I mean, you have to say, look, who cares what you want? This is what you're gonna have.
So is that how you raised your children with that iron fist for which you speak?
No, I've never once.
No,
Believe
iron
it or not.
fist. No, no, not with hitting. That's not iron fist. I hope that doesn't even
Well,
sound
that
like
would,
that.
but I never spanked my children.
Okay.
I never really disciplined them. I sure did scream. I let them have some volume, But other than that,
I wasn't asking about actual punishment. I was just saying with a firm hand. Did you also say eat your spinach?
no, I think I was probably the easier one of the parents, maybe.
Okay, well, I don't know. I'm trying to learn from others. As I pulled myself off the road, as you may or may not know, I am going to be back on tour in 2028, entertaining old people in old age homes and trailer parks alike and private shows. So that will be. I do like it. I'm off the show. I'm doing Out There with Melissa DeMarco, which you have been a guest, and we had a fantastic time with Kenny Robinson. You've already been a part of several promotion pushes for our show, as well as you are slotted for 3 other episodes as promoting at this point Nubian Night, and until you do a movie or something else. But I thought you were in 2 short films last TIFF, Toronto International Film Festival. I invited
I
you up
was.
last year.
Yeah, I was in a short that appeared at the film fest not last year, but
Year
maybe
before.
2 years
It
ago. I
was the
can't
year
remember
before. Yeah, I invited you in. You didn't make it. Yeah, and you were beautiful
Sid's
enough.
Formal Wear.
Sorry, what was the name?
Sid's Formal Wear.
That's the name of the show?
That was the name of the film.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sid's Formal, because that's an actual name I think that's where I bought my tuxedo.
I think well they're long gone out of business. That was on Young Street, wasn't it?
No, it was well, the one I bought was the outlet place that was outside of on starts with an O by Shepherd and it's in North,
Austin.
yeah, in North Toronto.
Okay, maybe it wasn't. It was something formal wear, but I thought it was Sid's. I can't remember.
No, Sid's is
I
good. I again, this is a chat, not an interview. It should be, because you deserve to have that kind of quality, but it's just a chat. I really am just learning while I'm talking to you, because we did get to speak this TIFF because you came out. You were on Out There with Melissa DeMarco. You came out to promote the Nubian Night. You came out to promote 2 other live shows that you're doing, and I'm pretty sure that they were stellar. Because afterwards on Facebook, you promoted that it was sold out shows. So you are bringing it, and you are also in America. You're still touring through the states,
Yeah, every now and then, a little bit here and there.
right?
I was working cruise ships for a while,
Well, I would love to be
but
on that cruise ship.
uh,
Do you have a
I
cruise ship set?
I fooled him for 10 months, so that was all right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're awesome. So yeah, that's great. So yeah, because I can't do cruise ships. Just recently, I figured out that it's not flying that bothers me. It's the I'm claustrophobic. I couldn't be on a ship. That wouldn't.
Oh, oh, yeah, because your room is your room is about the size of most people. As most well, no, the rooms aren't too small, but you know the one I had, the ones I usually had, they were below the line of the water, you know, so they were submerged. And I had a couple of times I had rooms that were right next to the chain of the anchor being raised and lowered whenever they were leaving or coming into port. So you get to hear that cranking while you're sleeping. So, and you definitely feel the coldness of being underwater when you're in one of those little rooms.
Yeah, I don't really know how to. Yeah, I can't do it. I really wanted to because the money that they offered. The first part when I was going to say, hey, let's do some touring as a performer. They were offering 3-month and 6-month gigs. I didn't have the agents that were offering these 2 or 3 week dealios. I just spoke with John Wing Jr. He just got a Legacy Award out there in Winnipeg. So
Yeah,
I don't know him to be a pegger though. I have to be honest. I thought he was from Chatham.
he's not, but they love him there. So he's been at the festival every year since they started. So that's been nice.
Yeah, were you out there this year? I can't recall. I'm sorry, I wasn't there.
No, I think I've done the festival twice.
Now that doesn't
That's
make. What is going on? I don't understand. Why are you? What? Help me.
Hey, I've done it twice. I can't complain.
Oh, is that true? Okay, because
Okay.
you're one of the people that you would see. Here's the thing. I can't help myself. I always hold my light up to other people, and your light has been shining very brightly for as long as I've known you. You in the world of acting, in the world of performing, the world of hosting. As producer, you've produced the Nubian Night, for which you're saying you're losing luster from your show, your own stage show energy, is all been delved into your Nubian Night. The Nubian Night is renowned.
Yeah, it's world famous. I
That's what
even
I'm
said it in
saying.
the radio ad coming out. But I mean, it's you know, in a way, I'm in, you know, my own stand up. You know, stands in the shadows of it to some extent.
Right. Well,
So
that's what you were saying. So, I just want to. Both are held in such high regard that I don't know. I'm hoping you're not walking away with any negative at all from what you're
no,
getting from the Nubian Night, which this Sunday, coming this Sunday,
it's the
in the
20th anniversary. 20 years we've been making it happen. And
20.
I've got like what 15, 16 comics on the show, and I've left off maybe another half a dozen or dozen guys that could have been on the show. And then of course, let's not even mention the Americans or the ones. Russell Peters did want to be on it, but our show fell in the same time where he was on the UK part of his worldwide tour. So we weren't able to have Russell there, but he wanted to be there. He's there in soul and spirit. He was there from our first show onward. So
Well,
in
who
fact,
is on this show? You don't have to give us all 15, but who's going to be rounding it up at the end? Other than, of course, Kenny Robinson, you're going to be there.
yeah, well, Jean Paul, he's been with me from the beginning. Cedric Newman's on there. Mark Trinidad's been on there for almost since the beginning. Dave Merhaj. Trix was probably like the people's champ as far as comics go. Very funny ladies. We've got Keisha Brownie on this show. Crystal Ferrier, who's just a killer. Sabrina Chavanes, she's probably the hardest working woman in comedy today in Canada. There's a young kid named Big Norm. That's a real crowd pleaser.
Oh man, we
So
got
it's
this list is too big. Is there a website that people can go to see this crazy list?
No, but come to Facebook, Kenny Robinson on Facebook, or the Nubian Show on Facebook, and you'll get an idea of what the lineup is like.
Okay, great. Go to the Facebook. I'm pitching that you're going to go to Facebook. That will be my clip. I'll make that happen. We'll send that out. This is what's going to be the show. You want to hear the rest of our chit chat? Please go to www.palmcast.com, live from my bedroom, and we're on the road. And this interview has almost been an interview because I've actually learned some stuff. The first time we met, I believe, was across the street from Yuck Yucks. A show had been canceled. Not enough people in the audience, and it happens. It was a Monday night, and Monday night was the night where it was helping out the new comedians, or amateurs is what they would like to call them, or even crash and burn
Since
people.
the Eglinton or the show at
Nope.
at Bay Street.
Oh, Bay Street. No, mine's on Eglinton. I didn't get to
Okay.
Bay Street. I visited Bay Street when I was a Ute. I saw Norm Macdonald. I saw Mike McDonald there. I mean, that's a long time ago there.
I was
I
the last comic to headline the Downtown Club, and I was the last comic to headline the Young Eglinton Club.
All right. I need people to realize what he just said. So the Yuck Yucks, the largest North American chain of comedy clubs, he was there as the last performer to close down the Bay Street Club, as well as when it transferred over to Club Absolute Comedy at Young and Egg. Is that true?
Yeah, that's
Wow.
it.
Wow, man. Wow, man. So that's something to put under the belt. So across the street there is where you and I first met. You came in and I don't know, you had a glow to you. You were wearing, your shoes had gold and metal on them. You were wearing a bowler hat, as well as you had a walking stick. And through the night, you showed me that the walking stick was not just a walking stick, but when you screwed it open, it was also a sword.
Oh yeah, that was my uncle's. He got that from the Sudan. He got that in Sudan.
I have never been so afraid of my life after you showing me that sword. I walked around for years saying comedy's a tough business. And then when I was working Comedywood later on, a road comedian actually at Comedywood pulled out a switchblade.
Wow.
Yeah, but he was pulling it out to show that, when you're on the road, you got to be prepared. But when he pulled it out,
Oh
as a
wow.
Canadian, I just got pulled back. But you basically said and did the same thing. You said, you know what? I've been in this business a long time. If anyone tries to take mine, I know how to protect mine. And you basically unscrewed the gold ball and showed me a sword. And I'm like, yep, not bothering with
Yeah,
this man.
that silly thing's underneath my bed now.
No, well, that's a
You
great.
know, now my attitude is, if you're gonna take it from me, I've had it long enough. So,
I actually can't believe that you just said that. I honestly can't believe it. But that really did motivate my life to know that I wanted to be a performer, an entertainer, and stand up became, hey, you should try stand up. But it's a blurred line. There's the purist of stand up. There's the performer of stand up. There's the guy who wants to be the actor who's also doing stand up. But you can tell the actor slash stand up or the stand up slash actor. And there's this feeling of the hobbyist versus the I don't know. Some people just have it. And again, here I am going to be just doubting on you. You have it. You have the it factor.
huh? Well, I try to strut it the whole time, so I'm. That's why I guess I've dedicated my entire life to that.
Yeah, no, you have it. The it factor. You walked into that room across the street. I did not know you as a Yuck Yucks comedian. That's actually part of the problem, probably. Not forget about Yuck as a performer, as someone who's in the industry. When I first saw you, I was entering into a zone of places I did not understand. I really didn't understand what I was a part of. Who was the? Oh, I know. It was the bar across the street. I don't even know if it's still there. Referees.
Cheers.
Cheers. My gosh, referees. Tom
Yeah.
Stade brought me over. Tommy Stade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom State's brilliant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I haven't. We wrote a script together, and then he had children, and then gone.
He's in England.
He's
doing
living.
well in England.
So why not England? Why are you were talking about England earlier? You understand
Yeah,
something?
Tom State's living like a rock star in England.
No, but what about you? Why not you live in the rock star life there in England?
I would have. It would have meant. Well, first of all, I didn't have anybody to try and set up the paperwork with me or for me.
Okay.
And, the Nubian thing was an anchor keeping me here. And then I wasn't ready to start moving my kids over there. So
Right.
I wasn't trying to relocate to the other side of the world.
Right. Okay, no, I'm just asking because there's a reason you're here. I mean, there's a reason you're in Toronto and not in Winnipeg.
Yeah,
There's a reason you're here and not in England. So I'm just asking
yeah.
questions.
You get to that point in your life where you don't have any real options anymore, and you just got to make the best of where you are.
Right. Well, the Nubian Night. This is something. If you have nothing to
It's
do, this is.
it,
Is there any tickets left? I mean, the thing is sold
Yeah,
out
there's still
normally.
tickets left, but you better get them, and they can go to yuckyucks.com and get them online.
Okay.
It's going to be a long show. Like I said, we got over 15 comics going to be on the show,
Wow.
and it's been the hottest show in the country. And tonight, well, not tonight, but this
Sunday.
Sunday night, we're celebrating the 20 years of doing it. So hope your listeners come down and check it
I
out.
am excited to put it. I'm putting in some money behind it. I'm actually just going to advertise the show, which is what I'm doing. And at that point, I don't know if you drive anywhere, but if you need any snow tires or if you need tires,
I've got to
tire.
take my snow tires off. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Well, if you
it's
have
like
someone, if you need someone to take the tires off and store them and give you suggestions of quality service, my sponsor, www.tirestires.com, they're at Kiel and Finch. So you can visit them. I'll give you a number after. They're on the website, www.bombcastnetwork.com. So yuckyucks.com is where you can go for some tickets, as well as you can visit Kenny Robbins' Facebook pages. He's got the Nubian as well as his own personal page. I'm pretty sure you can't be your friend anymore. I mean, you can only get 5,000 friends, so that's how that works
I
on the
still
Facebook web.
got friends. I wind up blocking people every now and then. So there's always there's I still got about another 1,000 before I'm done.
Okay, well, so I guess that there is a lottery. If you want to be a friend of Kenny Robinson, please feel free to send him a friend request because it might happen for you. It might happen.
Odds are it will. More likely to happen than not.
Oh,
So
that's
there you go.
that's why you want to be a Canadian. So I don't know, but back in 2001, you would think that wouldn't have been so real. I mean, 2007 is when Facebook really launched for us here in Canada. But in 2001, you had your own television show. You were a superstar in this town.
I had a TV show. I was on the radio. Yeah, just there was an article written in the Toronto Star about a guy that used to have my phone number. Like the phone number, he got my phone number when I moved and had to change phone numbers. So he got my old phone number. A guy found my life, found getting my old phone calls interesting enough to sell an article to the Toronto Star. So yeah, that was probably the most successful and biggest year for me. But like I said to Mark Trinidad the other night while we were watching Tricks, you only get to hold the belt for so long.
Yeah, that's now probably a wrestling or a boxing. I'm assuming boxing. I'm gonna go boxing.
Yeah, boxing. I don't follow wrestling, but
Yeah.
yeah, you only get to be on top of the hill for so long, and then it changes.
Okay, now hold
So
on. I got my kids in the room. Remember, Kenny, there's things I'm trying to glean from this. So kids, the top. You're trying to get somewhere. You're going to try to be the best football player. You're going to try to be the best author, a magician. You're going to try to be the best artist. But getting there is half the fun, not the battle. Fun. And when you get there, trying to hold on to it, as you just heard from a man who's doing what he wants to do, what he loves to do. I promise every time I've ever seen this man perform, he's doing what he wants to do. There's nothing going on. After stage, if he didn't make the $10 million that he should have made, that's always upsetting in this country. And that's kind of that's the only negative I think you and I've ever had on this in this whole planet is that it's feeling like the talent's really not getting paid. Like a Russell Peters had to go all the other way to the other side of the world to really, really get paid.
$21 million he made. He goes all over the world getting paid. It's a beautiful thing.
Is he bankrolling you? Because the way this was supposed to work, at least that's the way I was told, is that every comedian's got two friends, and when something happens for them, he grabs on the two people and brings them with. Were you on Russell Peters' lift?
Nah,
Ah.
Russell's been generous to me, but I've never been trying to ride on anybody's coat, you know.
Yeah, it's
So,
not a ride situation. It was supposed to be a lift. Recognize. All right, so anyway, I'm asking a question because that's what I was always told. It's the brotherhood of the stand-up. I mean, I'm a prop act is the way it was always thrown in my face. I like to sing. If there was a choice, if someone said, go on stage next to Jerry Seinfeld, I'm picking up a guitar and singing a song, you know? I'm going to try to
Yeah.
entertain the crowd. And Jerry Seinfeld's going to just rip them a new one, showing them something they never saw before. Anyway.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, so you have your skills. And you're a heck of an actor, my friend. I believe you. remember, I believe Kenny Robinson being Kenny Robinson, a slice of Kenny Robinson. So what's next? Is there anything in the post-production, pre-production, in production that you're doing in the world of film?
I auditioned for something last week. I won't talk about it. I hope it happens.
Okay,
and,
okay.
Something else will.
All right, so he still has pokers in the fire, and you're still doing the acting thing. You got people reaching out for you.
Got a brand new agent. I'm now with the Characters Agency, and so they happen to be one of the biggest outfits in the country.
Yep, they are one of the biggest in Canada. So Characters is where I would love to have landed. I've sought after them for years. So good. Yes, you're going to see momentum, and I can't wait to see you in something soon, because that's what's going to happen for you, sir. Yes, I signed my soul on the dotted line.